Hello, y'all. It's me, Bug Out. I'm still very ill, but I'm getting better. Anyhow, I want to do this video on what you can learn from predictive programming and the subtleties that are in the scripts that are foresight into the world that we're living in now and the future that is to be forced upon us. So it's on a series of movies that I've watched, and I've analyzed these movies, and I've taken the most important parts of these films and condensed it. So let's get started on this, and I'll show you my notes at the end of the video on each of the movies, and you can go back and watch these for yourself in an analytical sense, in an analytical mind frame other than just pure entertainment. If you look and you listen carefully, the world will show you its cards. And if you know anything about playing poker, then this is important. So just something a little bit different. I hope that you enjoy this, and so let's get started. Okay, our first movie is one of my favorites. It has one of my most favorite actors in it, and it's Brad Pitt. Gosh, he was gorgeous. I think that he is Robert Redford's love child. I mean, the resemblance is uncanny. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, so in the movie World War Z, there's a line that his character states, and he says, "I've been in a lot of dangerous places. People who move survived. People who stayed still died." That gives you a lot to think about as far as an SHTF situation is concerned, and bugging out. There's many that say they're going to stay and hold their ground, blah, 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 blah. But when do you cut and run? Really? When? There's another part in the movie, and I forget whose character says this line, but it's the problem with people is that they don't believe something will happen until something happens. It's not stupidity, it's human nature. Well, we see that all the time now. You know, if it's not affecting me, it's not really a big deal. You know, that kind of mentality, that normalcy bias, okay? There's another line in the movie World War Z that says, camouflage. It's camouflage. Can you recognize camouflage? And even that from medias and things of such. You know, can you recognize that if it's camouflaged? Okay? There's another line in that movie that says, if you can fight, fight. Be prepared for anything. Anything. It doesn't have to be, let's say, you know, the end of the world, the chaos, things like that. You need to be able to protect yourself at all times and have the gumption and the grit to take out anything that is a threat to your livelihood. Okay? I'm just saying, these are some things that while watching World War Z that kind of hit home for me, where I could relate to these things. And I think that it's imperative that each and every individual know that if you can fight, fight. Okay? On whatever level. It could be, you know, as much as taking up for someone who is lesser than you. It could be standing for something that you truly believe in. Um, fight for it. Don't give up. Don't give in. Be strong. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and go on to our next movie that I've critiqued. And let's see what we got here. Okay, this next one is War for the Planet of the Apes. Okay, it's a fantasy fiction type movie. And after watching this movie, I come to one conclusion on it. The only thing that I got out of this movie, other than entertainment purposes, was that Caesar, the ape that could speak, stated one line that made the most importance to me. Together, we are strong. Let that sink in. Together, we are strong. Okay? And that's really the only thing that I got out of War for the Planet of the Apes. Next. Okay. Now this is more of a question for yourself. And I've done a series of videos on have you been brainwashed. And a lot of people don't like to admit that they have been brainwashed. You know, we've been conditioned, myself included, and it's taken many years of unconditioning and research and seeking of knowledge from all aspects, and discounting those that are fallacy and that are supported by those who have conditioned us. Okay, so my first question is this for you, and I want you to really think about this. Okay, what can be learned from predictive programming, movies, documentaries, and commercials? What can you learn from these things? You know, you hear these little jingles. You can recognize product, symbols. Okay? We remember certain things throughout our lives. That is been conditioned in us. Okay? That's the first question I have for you. Second question, have you noticed any of these similarities in your reality, in your true reality, your day-to-day lives? What have you noticed? Do you buy a particular brand? Do you buy particular dog food because it makes you feel good, makes you feel good? The dog doesn't care, okay? But how does it appeal to you, the human? Okay, think about that. The third question I have for you is passive, doubt, deception, anger, judgment, fear, false sense of beauty. How have all these things played in the conditioning of what you believe is reality? Okay? Think about these things. Look at them for what they are. Do not allow them to control your mind. That's how we've gotten into this mess. The people are going down the alley, making a bigger mud hole. Anyway, next. All right, y'all. This one here is The Prophecy. It's an older movie. It's got one of my favorite actors in there, but I forget his name. Anyhow, The Prophecy. This is what I took from it. We are surrounded by spiritual warfare. Whether you believe it or not, it is occurring. There is good and evil always fighting for our souls daily, whether we see it or not. Okay? This is what I've gathered from this movie. This is the theme of hundreds of thousands of movies of this spiritual warfare against good and evil. Okay? They're telling us this is what is going on. Whether you believe it or not, this is the case. All right? This movie and several other movies, it discounts the presence of God. And but it emphasized the existence of angels. See, you can't have one without the other because God created the angels. All right? So they're giving you mixed messages. And they want you to stay confused on these things. They want you to have the doubt. Okay? But one thing, the one main thing that I got from the movie The Prophecy is, without the word, there is only argument. And my argument is this: I have my soul, I have my faith. What do you have? That's all that I need. And I give my soul to Jesus, okay? Now, don't let me run you off with this, okay, because we've got some more movies to go over. But these are some things that I found important in the bigger picture, other than our little matrix bubble that we live in. Next. All right, y'all. Now, this one is going to be a little off the charts. So, hold on. Get your cup of coffee, whatever it is that you need to get. And let's listen to this, okay? Now, this movie is kind of, it's like a B-type movie, okay? But it was really informative on some of the insights on the predictive programming that it has allowed us to see and pull into our psyche, okay? So anyhow, don't let me lose you on this, okay? Because this is very important. All right. So it's called Project Skyquake. And it has to do with these sounds that are going on around the earth, okay? These trumpet-like sounds. And they're actual occurrences. And you can find the footage on these horns or trumpets or deep sounds all over social platforms, okay? And many of them are recorded in real time. And one of the points in this Project Skyquake, excuse me, say that 10 times real fast, okay? See how that gets you. Is that they make reference to 900 million people left on Earth. Okay, now that's in reference to the Great Reset. All right, that's about where they want it to be for whatever reason. Who knows? But you know that's what the enemy is gearing towards. But we know that's not going to happen. Okay. They also make reference about mask. Okay? Now, on a subliminal level, when you cover your mouth, that becomes a muzzle. Think about it. Is your mask really a muzzle? All right? Think about that. You have no voice anymore. You have no say in your well-being, in your life, in your job, in your family, how you raise your kids, what your kids learn, what you learn, where you work, unless you have on a muzzle. Very deep stuff for thought, okay? All right. The last thing that Project Skyquake left with me was that be prepared, keep your loved ones close, and watch the sky. Something is up there. Now this can go into your extraterrestrial, your unidentified flying objects, your spaceships, your aliens, not illegal aliens from another country, but from outer space. I mean, it's a pretty deep little show. And I find that it's very interesting that they make these poignant comparisons to what is actually going on. That the possibility is there. There is a 50-50 chance, okay? Period. It's 50-50 chance. 50 50% chance that there is actually beings from another planet flying around up there, whether you want to call them angels or demons, whatever. Or there's a 50% chance that it's nothing and it's just the sounds of the earth making its moans and its groans, because we are beginning to state we are in tribulation. We are having our birth pains. And the earth, like a woman, is going to moan and make noises, okay? Food for thought, and it's deep thought, okay? Anyway, next. Okay. This is one of the most prolific and programmed movies. It was required of all students in high school to read on the classic list. And it was George Orwell's 1984. And it was actually he who coined the term New World Order. And it started way back then, okay? They designed this. This was the game plan, okay? So, my questions out of this movie, after watching it and analyzing it, was, why is Google so powerful? How has it become so powerful? Everything you do goes through Google. What is Google? Okay? Think about it. This movie, 1984, are the architects of the New World Order. Okay? This book is the manifesto of the New World Order. Okay? They encourage resistance to enlightenment. They want you to stay confused. They want you to stay lost so that they control you. Okay? Once you become enlightened, there's nothing that they can do to control you anymore. Okay? Whether it's media, mainstream media, movies, commercials, books, words, actions, any of that. Once you become enlightened, they have no control over you. Okay, now these are very important aspects that I'm fixing to lay on you here, and I suggest that you do your research on these entities. One is the Bilderberg Group. The other is the Dragon Covet. Do you know these? They have controlled your life since the day that you were born. Okay? I suggest that you learn who these people are. Okay? Now, don't let me lose you. This is all food for thought. I want you to think about the actual control that they have over your mind, which in turn controls your body. Next. Okay. So, as you will see, if you watch any White House briefing at this point, or at any point on any of them actually, you will find that they do not confirm nor deny anything. They just simply lead you on a wild goose chase, like a dog chasing his tail around and round in circles. And what this is a spider web analogy. And they are the spider in the middle of the web. Okay? Now these are some phrases that I think that will be helpful in your quest to enlightenment and to allow yourself the deprogramming that has taken place your entire life. Okay? One is the red line white unicorn. These are companies that operate above the government. And it's considered the Pied Piper syndrome. We are all guilty of it. We are all victims of it. Until you reach that level of enlightenment to where they no longer have control over you. Do some research on what the Pied Piper did, okay? And see it how they've garnered all of us into a corral to control our minds, control our medical, control our food, control our thoughts, control our deeds, control how we progress in this world, who gets to do what and how, who they oppress and who they don't oppress, how one skin color is better than the other skin color. Wrong. We are all humans. We are all part of humanity. And the sooner that our enlightenment is established on an individual basis, they no longer have that control. That's what they're afraid of. This video is simply to allow you to look at things for what they are and see if you have been one of the ones who are still in the matrix, on the outer fringes of the spider web.